Yeah, so I'm gonna start a new sketchbook. So I was in Kmart recently and I saw this watercolor sketchbook and I loved the cork cover and it had nice thick watercolor paper and it was only $5 and it's an A5 size, which I love working on this size. And I thought, let's grab it and let's make another self-portrait sketchbook. If you're new here, my name is Sally and I'm a mixed media artist in Australia. And if you're not new here, welcome back. Now, I have done one self-portrait sketchbook in the past, and I will link the sketchbook tour of that one up above, so you can go watch that next if you like. But I find self-portraits a really great and essential part of my art practice. Self-portraits for me almost end up being like a journal entry or a diary entry, but in a visual form. And they're the perfect way to capture how you're feeling at that particular moment that you were drawing the self-portrait. So last week, my local cinema did a tribute to David Lynch, my favorite filmmaker and artist who just passed, and they screened Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive, one on a Thursday night, one on a Friday night, and I went to both. I had not seen Blue Velvet on the big screen before, so this was absolutely essential that I go to that screening. And I saw Mulholland Drive at the movies when it was first released in 1997, I think it was, 97. And yeah, so I kept the ticket stubs and I'm going to incorporate them into this self-portrait because this self-portrait, like pretty much everything that I've made since David Lynch passed, before David Lynch passed, he's in the back of my mind. He's in my thoughts. He's such a huge part of my whole way that I approach creativity and ideas. And I'm using alcohol markers by Ohuhu to do this portrait. It's been so hot at my place. We've been in a little bit of a heat wave in Melbourne. Yes, it's summer, but we're in the south where it doesn't get that hot. So when it's hot here, we all kind of like don't know how to cope. I don't have air conditioning. And I was trying to paint something one day and just the paint was drying up and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't even do anything until this heat goes away. But I can use markers. So I decided to do markers on this watercolor paper for this portrait and they worked out perfectly. And the way I like to use markers when I'm doing a portrait is I like to pop in the shadows first, because when you're layering with the markers, anything that's lighter that you put on top kind of softens it. So they're a really beautiful way to add shadows. And I find that I love doing sort of bold, deep shadows with alcohol markers. I find that they always look fantastic. Love using markers to do portraits. So I found this reference of me that I took out in my back garden. And a lot of the time with self-portraits, I like to take a reference at the time that I'm going to sit down and do the portrait. So it's a capture of me in that moment. But I don't know, there was something that I just really loved about this photo. I was in my back garden, there was lots of trees around, and I was sort of looking up and to the left. And I just liked the expression on my face. And so I decided to use that as my reference. So I'd been thinking a lot about the movies that I saw, both Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive, and I had a bunch of friends, my closest friends came up to see Blue Velvet, and it was really awesome to see it with them. My closest friend B had never actually seen it ever before, so it was really amazing to see it with them for the very first time. And it was quite an emotional night, just, remembering this incredible filmmaker, watching this incredible film with some of my closest friends. It was just a really beautiful night, and I've just been extra inspired. And I guess David Lynch I always felt like he empowered me to just get down the ideas, no matter how small you think the idea is, it's come to you for a reason. So capture that and put it down and make something out of it, even if you don't know what the end result is. And I talked about this at length a couple of videos ago, and I'll link that for you as well. And I have so much more to say about him. And I'm actually going to be making a lot of zines about his films, starting with Mulholland Drive, which was the movie that I saw the night before I did this portrait. Mulholland Drive, like, I can't say that I have a favorite David Lynch film because they're all, I love them all. But I think because I'd just seen it, it was very, very fresh in my mind. And there's so much that I love about it and so much I have to say about it. So the February issue of my zine, Stung, is going to be all about Mulholland Drive. If you don't know, I have memberships over on Ko-fi, and I publish a zine every month. It's an A6 zine that goes out worldwide, and I also make a companion mini zine that goes with that. And then I have another tier of memberships that has an art print as well. So I'm really, really excited to start making the zine, to do the artwork, to make the mini zine, and just get all of my thoughts about this incredible movie, Mulholland Drive, out and have it published and send it all over the world. I'm really, really excited. I can't wait for everyone to read it after I've finished it. So I wrote some text on this page with my self-portrait, and it says, "Hey, pretty girl, time to wake up." And this is a line from Mulholland Drive. And I just sort of felt like it fit the vibe of what I was trying to capture here. And I think this is a really solid way to start this self-portrait sketchbook, with a lot of things that are very meaningful to me. And I think Echo agrees. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and consider subscribing to the channel for more art stuff, especially for more David Lynch stuff. And I'll see you next time. Bye.